Hey guys, so as you may be completely aware, our channel just hit 1,000 subscribers and is still growing like crazy. In order to celebrate, I'm having a friend of mine create a new Venom Xenomorph in order to be kind of a new intro-outro character, and just have a completely different intro and outro segment for you guys entirely. I don't know how long that's going to take, I don't know when I'm going to get it, but in the meantime, I'm sticking with the original intro and outro layout, at least for the next few videos until I get the new intro and outro set up. So please be patient, new intros and outros will be coming shortly. And as always, enjoy the video. Hello everyone, it's Venom Xenomorph and welcome back to a brand new episode discussing Springtrap in Dead by Daylight. Today we're going to be talking about why Springtrap, why him over most of the other possible characters of Five Nights at Freddy's could be implemented into the game. Why is he the most important and obviously the one that needs to be added to the game the most? We're also going to do a final rundown on perks thanks to a comment that was in one of my last videos that really was very impressive. It was very detailed. Not only that, but it seemed to fit every single killer. It was more of a teachable perk in that sense, and obviously it matched very well with Springtrap's personal details. So, in order to start off, I want to talk about why Springtrap. Springtrap is the main antagonist in the third game. And before his Springtrap form, Purple Guy was the main antagonist of the Five Nights at Freddy's story throughout all the games. He was always the villain in the entirety of the story. And in a way, that has always worked. It has always worked that way. A lot of people have been suggesting in the comments that one of the things I should discuss is skins for Springtrap involving the original Five Nights crew as Springtrap. The issue is that the animatronics from the original restaurant and the animatronics in the rest of the games are all good in a way. The only reason they're attacking you is because they think that you are Springtrap and think that you're the one who murdered them. That's the only reason they're after you. The rest of the games, the rest of the time, it's only because of that distraction. Springtrap is the main enemy, and because of that, he is the main villain, and he's the only one that qualifies as an evil character, besides Ennard, but Ennard itself is still quite not as evil as Springtrap. He is the only true candidate in terms of an evil killer for Dead by Daylight. In terms of the survivors, I have finally had my heart set on Michael. Michael is obviously the protagonist of most of the games, and just he works as a character considering that William Afton, aka Springtrap, is his father, and it creates a familial issue and just terrifying bond between the characters. So I think that would really work there. Going over perks though, someone had commented, EskeeemoArt's is how you pronounce it, I think, had commented on one of my latest videos his idea for perks. His first perk was I Always Come Back, which is gain 2, 3, or 4 based on the different leveling of the perk. Haste when stunned by a pallet for 30 seconds. This can stack up to 6 to 9 to 12 haste, but will completely wear off after the 30 seconds runs out. And the perk has a 30-second cooldown after wearing off. I really like that perk. It can be used for a lot of different characters that honestly really need to be faster. The Demogorgon, for example, I feel like while he has his lunge, like that ability that he has, the shred attack is what I'm thinking of. While he has that ability, he's not necessarily a fast killer, and we need to have killers that start getting faster than the survivors, because I've had way too many games where the survivors have outran me around every corner, especially with Dead Hard. So this perk would definitely be a cancellation to Dead Hard, and would just be extremely powerful in terms of a perk. I feel like the Dead by Daylight team could tinker with this perk and definitely make it better. The second perk is Man Behind the Slaughter. Now, I had in my last video kind of botched saying Man Behind the Slaughter and saying Man That Caused the Slaughter. I was a little worried that it was copyrighted or something, but the way that you guys kept on commenting it in the comments kind of assured me that if I said it, I'm basically just quoting somebody and not really taking credit for anything. So, Man Behind the Slaughter, you have become more skilled in hiding your crimes due to your years of experience. When downing a survivor, survivors 50 to 40 to 30 meters away from you will not see the aura of the downed survivor, nor will they see the aura of the hook they are placed on. I really like that perk. I feel like one of the things that is sort of annoying for a killer is that the survivors can see where you're going with your survivor that you've downed kind of most of the way. They see what direction you start going in as soon as you pick them up, and they just see where the downed survivor is, so they know where you are the entire time. It would be really game-changing if Springtrap's ability, or at least that perk, allowed him to sort of hide that and make his kills and his downs more invisible to the naked eye, and just prevent survivors from being able to just easily get up and go run and go save the day. The last perk that he mentions is a hex totem perk called Malicious Intent. Your past life has given you experience in tampering with machines to suit your favor. I like the suit pun there. It's pretty funny there. When a survivor fails a skill check on a generator in your terror radius, they will gain the exposed status effect for 30 to 40 to 50 seconds. The perk has a 60-second cooldown. One of the things that I found interesting about Steve Harrington's perks was that one of the perks was kind of a gamble. You never were sure that you were going to get the perk. I think it was Camaraderie. You were never sure that you were going to get the perk. It was either Camaraderie or Second Wind, where like it was all based on the situation. And I feel like it would balance out if the killer had a perk like this. And the idea offered by EskeeemoArt's is definitely a perk that would be added and better suiting for Springtrap. So those are the final kind of thoughts on perks for Springtrap. I know they aren't my original thoughts on that one, but my thoughts, just like a few of your other guys', were a little over the top and more focused as more of an ability towards Springtrap than a perk that could be teachable to other killers. These just sounded perfect. They sounded teachable to other killers in a way that wasn't broken, and in a way that basically sounded like he worked at behavior and like knew exactly how perks worked in the game. It was actually really impressive. But I guess that's going to be it for today's episode. I know this one is way shorter than the previous episodes, especially since they just kind of kept getting longer and longer. I wanted to be sure that what I talked about this video properly made sense. I didn't want to just start spitballing and then kind of have a discussion in the comments with all these ideas spitting at me. One of the things that I wanted to mention last in this video, since I got a little bit more time, is why Phantom animatronics wouldn't really work. Phantom animatronics are not associated with Springtrap. They're associated with Five Nights at Freddy's 3. Don't get me wrong. That is Springtrap's game. It makes sense to at least reference the Phantom animatronics if we were getting like a Fazbear Fright map. But it doesn't make sense to me about that being the Phantom animatronics being his ability. Phantom animatronics were just the souls, or because this is at the point where the children are all getting together to kind of haunt Afton, because he's already been Springtrapped for so long, and he's haunted by the spirits of the kids that he's killed in the forms of each of the suits that he's trapped them in. And so the Phantom Mangle, Phantom Balloon Boy, Phantom Puppet, Phantom Chica, Phantom Freddy, all are these different kids that he's murdered. And one of the things that needs to be noted is that the reason they're attacking you in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 is because they still think you're him, because they can't tell the difference. And they also just trust the Bonnie suit more than they do the security guard, because the security guard was revealed at their last moments as their killer. So they obviously trust Bonnie or Springtrap a little bit more than you. So it's they are not working together. It's not something that Springtrap has control over. It's just a coincidence. The other thing that was mentioned was audio decoys and cameras. Neither of those are associated with Springtrap in terms of an ability. They are actually more associated with him in terms of a diversion. Maybe a survivor like Michael Afton would be able to place down audio decoys or security cameras in a way where, like, kind of like the crows alert the killer where the survivors are, the cameras or audio decoys can alert Michael or whatever other survivors are in the match where the killer is. I think that would be a really clever idea. But in terms of Springtrap's ability, I'm kind of set on the stalking aspect. I think that part of Springtrap is really horrifying, and a lot of people in the comments agreed in my last video with that, with his ability finally being this amalgamation of the other killers in Dead by Daylight, and just the combination being overall a more fitting combination. The last thing, the very last thing, I know I kept saying the last thing. The very last thing I want to go over is the Mori. I am very set in stone about my opinion on the Mori, about it being a jump scare. But a lot of you have mentioned some interesting ideas. Some of you keep saying that he should stomp somebody's head in. I don't see a connection with that with Spring. It doesn't scream Springtrap to me. It screams every other killer, like the Trapper or something. And Michael definitely, considering the new Halloween movie, he actually did that. But Springtrap, I don't see Springtrap doing that. I think he is more, because it's William Afton we're talking about, he's more of a knife guy. He's like Joker. Why do you think I use a knife? You know? To savor the little details. And it's that kind of stuff that makes William Afton more of a serial killer than just a horrifying character, you know? And so I'm pretty set in stone on a few different things. I really like my jump scare idea, and a lot of you guys like my jump scare idea. A lot of you suggested also just a serious stabbing or killing, or maybe even biting. And while biting would make sense for something like Nightmare or Fredbear, it would not make sense for Springtrap, because Springtrap's jaw only goes so deep. Like, all there is the fake teeth, and then there's Afton's actual mouth, and that doesn't work. It doesn't fit properly with Springtrap's character. It would probably fit better with Fredbear or Nightmare, which I will discuss in a separate video in regards to them possibly being involved in Dead by Daylight. I'm not saying they will. I'm not saying that I'm going to make another petition saying they should be added. Springtrap is definitely more interesting, but I will have another video coming discussing Nightmare and Fredbear and that sort of bite Mori and how I think those guys could fit into Dead by Daylight, as well as maybe even the absence of a survivor. We don't even need Michael or Charlie. We could do a paragraph where it's just Springtrap and his map. A lot of you guys were suggesting that, and you all kind of agreed upon that it would be totally fine if it was just a paragraph. And in the next video, I will break down as to why just a paragraph would work and why we don't need a survivor, and how we could accommodate the current survivors in a way that makes them fit into the Five Nights at Freddy's universe, as well as Springtrap fitting into the Dead by Daylight universe. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for your support. The petition is in the link and description down below. Hopefully in one of my next videos on Springtrap, I will be discussing it with another Five Nights at Freddy's fan. I will have him over to record at some point, and we're just going to have a lot of fun with this. You guys are really enjoying this series. You're really giving a lot of support to me. We're so close to monetization, and for those of you who think I'm doing this for monetization, I'm not. I like monetization because it allows me to make more videos like these more often and gives me more resources to be able to improve the stuff that I'm using to make these videos. But I don't need monetization to be able to make these videos. I enjoy making these videos for you guys because the support and the sheer positive response coming from you guys is enough for me. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell if you want to see more videos like these. The link to the petition is below. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!